We now ask the students and the audience to stand for the national anthem of Saudi Arabia. Thank you, students. You can sit down now. As principal of the Coast Secondary School, I'm delighted to welcome distinguished guests, parents, and family members to the Coast School's 13th annual commencement ceremony. We are pleased that we can meet in the auditorium to celebrate the graduation class. This year, we could allow a higher number of audience members to witness this event in person. This celebration is also streamed to allow family and friends in Saudi Arabia and around the world to witness this event in real time. To begin, I would like to welcome Professor Larry Karen, the Coast Provost, to share opening remarks.
So thank you very much, and welcome to everybody, and congratulations to our graduates. We're so proud of you. I want to, in particular, congratulate, in addition to our students, the parents and families. This is obviously a very special day, and we are happy to share this special moment with you. You know, to our graduates, you are quite an amazing crew, and you embody, I think, the best of KAUST and of TKS. As you embark on the next stage of your journey, remember TKS, remember KAUST, and remember that you have a tremendous foundation on which to build. Remember what's special about KAUST. We have a very diverse population of people from all over the world. And in addition to what we learn in the classroom from our teachers, we learn so much from each other by sharing cultures and learning that while we may come from very different parts of the world, at bottom, we're all people and we're all very similar. So I wish you all very, very much the best as you move forward in your lives. And to everyone, again, congratulations to all the parents, families, and we hope that you have a nice event.
Thank you, Professor Karen. We believe that it would be good to acknowledge our host country and draw inspiration from an Arabic poem. Leen El-Thunayan will share the poem with us, which is relevant for this occasion.
السلام عليكم، معكم لين الثنيان، واليوم سوف أقدم لكم إحدى قصائد الشاعر المعروف أحمد شوقي. قال الشاعر: قم للمعلم ووفه التبجيلا، كاد المعلم أن يكون رسولا، أعلمت أشرف وأجل من الذي يبني وينشئ أنفس وعقولا، ربوا على الإنصاف فتيان الحمى، تجدوهم كهف الحقوق كهولا، قل لشباب اليوم بورك غرسكم، دنت القطوف وذللت تذليلا، ما أبعد الغايات إلا أنني أجد الثبات لكم بهن كفيلا، فكلوا إلى الله النجاح وثابروا، فالله خير كافلا ووكيلا. أخواني وأخواتي الخريجين، أتمنى لكم جميعا مستقبلا باهرا ومسيرة عامرة بالإنجازات، وألف مبروك لنا جميعا. واليوم نرفع قبعات التخرج ونرسم فيها البسمة على وجه أمهاتنا وآبائنا، ويوما من الأيام سنصبح صورة في الذاكرة، ابتسموا لكاميرا الزمن لتصبح صورة الذكرى جميلة. وشكرا.
Thank you, Lean. This year, we asked the students who they would like to invite as a special graduation speaker. And the students unanimously expressed that they would like to draw inspiration from a visit and a speech from Dr. Tony Chen. I would now like to ask Dr. Tony Chen, the KAUS president, to speak to the class of 2022.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Graduates, we are here because of you. We are all very proud of you. I know what it takes to graduate from TKS, given the high standards. Let's give them a big hand again. That was a lovely poem. I couldn't understand, but I can read the English. So let's give a big hand to the teachers. That's what that poem is about. But last but not least, I think we have to thank the parents and the family. Without their support, I'm sure the journey will be much harder. Let's give them a big hand. I feel particularly privileged and honored to be selected by the graduates for me to give some remarks. So thank you very much. I hope I won't disappoint you. Okay. So my approach is to tell you some stories based on my personal life that may be useful for you going forward in your life. You know, it may be hard to believe, but a long time ago, I was at the same stage as your life, sitting on stage. I remember I was pondering what's life in front of me. I knew I was going to leave home for the first time, to live outside home. I was going to leave my home country for the first time. I was getting on an airplane for the first time to work in a country where the language was foreign to me. And then there will be many, many future things like this. You have to think about what major you select, you know, which friends to make, huge number of things. The world out there seems just so daunting. But I hope, looking back, based on what I've learned, I want to share with you 3 stories personally, so please indulge me. But hopefully what I've learned can be useful to you going forward. Okay, so that's the plan. So I went through the British high school system. Many of you are familiar with it. At least at the time, there was something called the O-level and A-level. You know what that means? A-level corresponds to grade 12 and 13, roughly. And you could switch school. You have to take an exam between O and A-level. So I took the exam, and I was sitting with a classmate of ours, and we were in a pretty good school, but not the top school. And we said, hey, why don't we try to apply to some of the top schools, okay? In fact, we had our eyes set on a school called Queen's College, which is across the road from Victoria Park. So it's Queen Victoria. You know, I went through the British school system. So we went. I took with me my exam results. I said, can I have an application form? They looked at the result and said, no, you don't qualify for the application form. My grades were not enough. They were not good enough to get the application form, not the admission. So, okay, I said, that's okay. I went back to my school. I was admitted there. So 2 weeks later, my friend got in, right? So I got a phone call from him. He said, Tony, you know, there's an extra seat in the classroom. I don't know what happened. Maybe you should try. So my reaction at that time was, I was rejected once already. I didn't even manage to get the application form. Why would I go again? I said, why would I want to be humiliated again? Okay. So I actually talked to my mother, who was a very conservative person, but he said, what you got to lose? So coming from my mother, who was a very conservative person, I said, well, you're right. So I took half a day off school, and I went to this school, and I met with the vice principal, who was an English gentleman, very tall to me, okay? And I was trembling, you know? I don't know, what's he going to ask me? Is he going to give me an exam? He saw me for 2 minutes and he said, "You're admitted." So what does that tell me? That tell me when I make the appointment, he already admitted me. So the lesson I have there is that if you try, you may not succeed, of course, but if you don't, you fail for sure. And that motto has guided me through my whole career and my whole life. So remember, if you try, you may not succeed, but if you don't, you fail. All right, so to continue the story, to the second story, so I went overseas to study, and the major I was interested in was physics. Many people in STEM of my age were interested in physics. I was attracted to this place called Caltech in California. I only applied to one school because I knew about this person called Richard Feynman, who just won the Nobel Prize. I said, I want to go there, okay? So I went there, and I don't know how, but I did very well in the exams. I got good grades, and so in the American system, you have to declare a major after your sophomore years. Okay, so it's very natural, right? So I would be a physics major. But I guess I've left home enough. I said, do I really want to be a physics major? Am I cut out to be a physicist? Am I going to be as good as Richard Feynman? And I answered that question myself. I am no Richard Feynman. And I don't want to be a mediocre physicist. If I want to be a physicist, I want to be like Richard Feynman. So I decided not to major. And my grade were like A pluses. So I went to talk to some professor. I said, I'm interested in physics, and now I'm not going to major in it. What do I do? I said, well, if you're interested in physics and you're not good in math, you should study something in engineering, because that sort of puts together. And so that's what I did. Okay, so the lesson there, looking back, is you're going to be judged by not your exam scores. You're not going to be judged by what major you choose. You're going to be judged by what you have accomplished in life. So I think that's a very important goal, okay? So that's the second lesson. So the last story I want to tell you is, so I studied engineering. In fact, one area of engineering I studied was aeronautical engineering. I didn't tell too many people about it. I was fascinated by airplanes. I want to fly them. I want to study them, and so on. So I did. I got a master's degree in aeronautical engineering, which Caltech was very well known for. So by the time I was about to graduate, now this is from college, okay, but similar. And I was wondering, so I want to go to graduate school, so what should I do? I should go into aeronautical engineering. But then I realized throughout my undergraduate study, I never saw a single airplane in study. I saw a lot of equations, okay? I saw a lot of wind tunnels. So I went to the professor. I said, well, how do you design airplanes? I'm graduating with a degree. I have no idea, okay? I've not even touched an airplane. Oh, she said, Tony, we now have a new tool, okay, called computers. The airplanes now are designed more by computer than by humans or wind tunnels. Computers. I should tell you that at that point, there was no computer science major at Caltech, which is a tech school, so it was early. So I said, okay, maybe I should study this field. Where can I study? They told me, there's this new university up north called Stanford. I heard they're pretty good. So I said, I drove up, I was in Southern California. I loved the campus, so I chose to study computer science. Now, the story is not that. The story is that my class of PhD students had about 20 people. I remember them. So I got to know them. They come from all over the place. Many of them have built a computer or written a compiler or do something great in computer. That's why they study. But none of them have studied computer science because there was no computer science to study. As I told you, Caltech did not have a computer science department. More than that, and this only I realized many years later, none of our professors has a degree in computer science because they are even older than us. So they came from mathematics, electrical engineering, linguistics, psychology, all walks of life. So thinking back, I was thinking about these professors. They were pioneers, right? They left the comfort zone. They were very accomplished people in whatever field they were in. And they, like me, knew about this new field called computer science. And they sort of left their home, their comfort zone, and went into this field. That took courage, but also takes foresight, confidence in that they can do something good in this field. I can tell you many of these professors, they went on and did fantastic in their career, winning big prizes, founding companies, and so on. But they didn't know it back then. So I think the lesson I drew from there is that in life, you got to have confidence in yourself. You want to be a leader rather than a follower. It may not always work out, but you got to try to be a leader. So you could keep constantly looking out for new things in life. It's happening around you right now. They're all around you. And I think the younger you are, the better chance you can grasp those opportunities. So those are the 3 lessons I get in my life that has guided me. If you try, you may not succeed, but if you don't, you fail for sure. If you, in life, in your career, you will not be judged by what you major in, by what degree you have, by all that. It's about what you have accomplished, what you promised to deliver. And the last thing is, try to be a leader and not a follower, even though there are risks involved. So I hope those 3 lessons I have from my personal life will inspire you for your great future that awaits you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. It's always good to hear some personal stories, and I think they're not only interesting and inspiring for the students, but I think also for the audience. So thank you, graduates, for selecting Dr. Tony Chen, so we got to hear the stories as well. So maybe you remember last year when we had a song sung by our choir, but that was recorded because at that point we were not able to sing on stage. Yeah? This year we are very pleased that we can actually have live music. It's not on the stage because it would be too full, so they're coming in as I speak. And we will listen to the song, You Will Be Found. And that is presented to us by the middle school choir, but also some soloists. And the song, You Will Be Found, reminds us of the importance of community and lasting friendships.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So let that lonely feeling wash away, 'cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh,
Someone will come running,
and I know
they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around.
you will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Wasn't this amazing? It's just beautiful. And I guess you were surprised that the first singer was actually one of the graduates, so the sound was coming out of here, and then there were more and more graduates. So our students are not only strong academically, they're also strong artistically. So I would like to thank also the graduates, the singers, for bringing this to us together with the middle school choir. And I'd now like to ask Dr. Michelle Remington, the director of the Cow School, to speak to the class of 2022.
Thank you. That was unbelievable. Oh my goodness, the music. Welcome, parents, family members, faculty members, distinguished guests, and most importantly, class of 2022. Graduation is a very special time in the life of a student. It marks a major achievement in your life, and some of you have been attending formal education for 13, 14, maybe even 15 years. If you have been a student at TKS since kindergarten or first grade, I would like you to stand to be recognized right now. As TKS continues to grow, we are going to see more and more students like you who have progressed all the way from the first years of school all the way to graduation. So we are proud of your accomplishments and for your time at TKS. We've had a wonderful program and still more to come this evening, so I just have a short message to share with the graduates tonight. This story came to me this spring as I learned about the winner of the Kentucky Derby. This is a horse race that's run every year in the spring, and only horses who are 3 years old are eligible to race in it. I don't follow horse racing closely, but this is one race that I watch every year because it's the most famous race in the United States. This year, the race was won by a horse and jockey that were completely unknown. The horse was Rich Strike, and the jockey was Sonny Leon. As I looked into the story behind the horse and the rider, I was inspired by what I learned. As a 2-year-old horse, he did very poorly in his first race. So the owners entered him into what's known as a claim race, and after that, he was claimed for a mere $30,000, which is a very small price for a thoroughbred racing horse. The man who purchased him actually had gone to the claim race to purchase a different horse, but when his first plan didn't work out, he then ended up purchasing Rich Strike. The horse had some success through his beginning of 3-year-old age, and he won one race by a large margin, but most of them he really was kind of in the 4th or 5th or even further back. This spring, Rich Strike was eligible for the Kentucky Derby, but the field of the race was already full, so Rich Strike was not considered. At the last minute, one of the premier trainers with the top horse withdrew from the event, and it was Rich Strike that was given the spot just before the entry deadline. Nothing was in his favor. Neither his owner, his trainer, his jockey, none of them had ever been associated with the Kentucky Derby. The jockey hadn't even won any major events. The odds of him winning the race were 80-1. The race started, and Rich Strike quickly fell to the back. He was like in 16th place. If you watch the replay, he's so far back, he's not even in the screen, so you can barely see him. But then there's this magic moment when he starts to make his move. He works from the back of the pack, he takes advantage of narrow gaps, and he kind of improves his position little by little. All of a sudden, he moves into the top 5. The announcer doesn't even notice him because he's focusing all of his attention on the top 2 racers who are the more famous horses. Seconds before the finish, Rich Strike passes the front two runners and wins the race. It was an unbelievable moment when the least favored horse wins the race. Watching it and then reading the background on the trainer, I was so inspired and felt that there was a lot to learn from this. And there's actually been a lot posted on social media about it as well. There's a lot of power in what the story of this horse represents. First of all, we don't always start the race in the same place. Rich Strike did not come from a fancy stable. He did not have the best trainer in the business. And in life, some of us have more advantages than others. Just remember, sometimes you have to work harder than others to get ahead and reach your goals. Second, it isn't always about the best reputation or the highest price. Rich Strike's owner purchased him for $30,000. The other horses he was racing against were multi-million-dollar thoroughbreds. Don't be overly impressed or intimidated by money and good reputations. It's about hard work and persistence that really pays off. It was true for Rich Strike, and it's true in life. Lastly, you never know when your opportunity may come up, so always be prepared and be ready. You can't decide to work hard after the opportunity is presented to you. In this case, Rich Strike had prepared. He was ready. He just needed the opportunity to enter the race. His chance came at that last-minute change, and the field opened up, which allowed him to compete. During the race, he continued to look for those opportunities. Where there were gaps, he leaned in and he got ahead. There's an old saying that is, luck is where opportunity and preparation meet. This is the perfect illustration of that quote. It may have been lucky that Rich Strike was given the opportunity to enter the race, but winning the race wasn't lucky. Winning was due to the preparation that he had put into leading up to the event. So as you leave here tonight, I hope you remember this little story. Don't get frustrated if you feel like you're at the bottom of the class or the back of the pack. You need to work hard and persist, but you can do it. Don't get intimidated by big money or fancy reputations. It's your character and your work ethic that will lead you to success. And lastly, be patient, prepare, and look for your opportunities. When the time is right, the opportunities will present themselves, and you'll be ready. I have great confidence in all of you, class of 2022, and I can't wait to see what you will do next. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Dr. Remington, for your reflections on the importance of character, work ethic, and patience, and that opportunities will present themselves when the time is right. We will now listen to the high school choir with the song Colors in the Dark, which is written by one of our teachers, Mr. Salim, and arranged by Ms. Sabiti. So I was just speaking about all the students and thanking them, but we also have very artistic teachers amongst us. Thank you. That was another beautiful song by another group of singers. And it is now my pleasure to welcome one of the grade 12 students, Abhishri Pillai, to give the first of the two grade 12 student addresses.
Thank you, Mr. David. Family, friends, teachers, staff, and special guests, I'm extremely honored to be able to speak on behalf of the graduating class of 2022. Connections, according to Google, is a relationship in which a person or thing is linked or associated with something else. For the class of 2022, the connections that we have made during our time, a lifetime for some, here at TKS have imprinted themselves onto who we are now and who we will become. I remember a couple of weeks ago, Mr. McLaurin said to our higher level biology class that one thing about our cohort that stood out was that we all seemed to truly enjoy each other's company, and I completely agree. Connections have developed over the years as we made more and more memories and inside jokes together. I remember the playground in kindergarten where we used to ride around on small bikes and play with anything for hours. I remember in grade 4 where we had a real-life wax museum exhibit and dressed up like Marie Curie and Albert Einstein. I remember in grade 5, we were reminded of how fast we were growing up as we ended our elementary school years, became sixth graders and teenagers. Throughout middle school, I remember going sailing and snorkeling together. I remember performing on this very stage together. I remember flying to Hungary and Thailand for various international conferences and events together. And then I remember in grade 10, we even pulled an all-nighter together on the day a personal project and P-Cup was due. Most of us still showed up to school on an hour of sleep. As we entered DP, not only did we get used to showing up to school on an hour of sleep, but these connections also grew deeper, stronger, and more vital to each of our successes. Much like a rope, this graduating class is made up of the individual fibers that gift the rope with its strength and utility. If one of these fibers is frayed, the whole rope is at risk of disintegration. We entered our DP years not knowing the obstacles and struggles we would have to overcome. In addition to the intensity of the rigorous learning, we also had numerous personal difficulties to overcome. Like the rope, these connections ensured that when one of us needed support, we were able to provide it, strengthening our overall well-being. We offered each other comfort, assistance, and time, and we have shown up for each other, and we could not have gotten through these last 2 years without one another. We stood together and watched time fly by as it went from our first day of senior year to the last. In between was the parent dinner, where we shared a laugh about the thought of procrastinating our extended essays, then beach night, or should I say flag pavilion night, where we were graced by Mr. Vish's rendition of Wonderwall and the whole grade singing I Want It That Way. Next was the camp out, where we enjoyed overblown tents and ate up Zaid's perfectly cooked burgers. Then the gala, where we learned interesting facts about our teachers and that people can't tell Abigail and I apart as babies. Then finally, the last season of all classes, where we shared heartfelt goodbyes, and then the clap out, where we soaked the school as we danced and cheered. Next was exam season, which was a complete blur, during which most of us lived in the university library rooms and calmed each other down before and after each exam. And now we are here at graduation, turning over the last page of this bittersweet chapter in our lives. I know that we mean so much more to each other than we could ever express, and it still hasn't hit most of us how much time has passed and how little we have left with one another. Some call it denial, but we know we're just procrastinating once again, but this time, procrastinating our goodbyes to one another and holding on to each other for as long as we can. As we climb the already strengthened rope that is our life, tightened by the connections we have made along the way, I want to encourage all of you to keep adding twines to the rope that will bond us for a lifetime. Some of us may never come back to this country, this campus, and never again to this moment, but the connection, if the rope is braided tightly, will last. Finally, I'm grateful for the administration staff, the cleaning staff, the IT staff, and the maintenance staff who worked alongside our dear teachers to provide us the privilege of a world-class education. We appreciate every minute of your hard work. This university has been my home, and you all, my family, for as long as I can remember. Thank you, KAUST, for every opportunity, every moment of inspiration, and all the knowledge you have gifted us. Above all else, thank you from the bottom of our hearts to our parents for getting us here. We love you tremendously, and we hope our future actions reflect the goodness you have braided within us. We will make you proud. And as for my friends on stage, I am so grateful and proud to be a part of this graduating class, and I look forward to seeing you all in 10 years at our reunion. I cannot wait to see the rope we have braided together during our time here, still intact, strengthened, and connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishri. Thank for your reflections on the importance of connections and the metaphors visualizing how the individual class members are like the individual fibers that together make a rope. We would now like to give an impression of some important events in the life of our grade 12 students.
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. Father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. Fire they can't put out, carve your name into those shining stars. He said go venture far beyond the shores, don't forsake this life of yours. I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid I heard him say, when you get older your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. These are the nights that never die. My father told me.
So I told the graduates during the rehearsal that they were not allowed to look back because that wouldn't look good. But I can assure you, you looked really good on that big screen. Yeah. And especially the photos of the gala, you all looked really handsome. So it's also because we have actually a few very good photographers at school. Yeah. And now, please welcome our second grade 12 speaker, Zaid Masri.
Jeez Louise, man. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you to Mr. Teklar for introducing the graduating class of 2022 and for the work you've done for us. Seniors, it's time to take a moment and reflect on the happiness you are experiencing right now and what it took to get these get through these last 4 years in high school. It was you who got up every morning and went to school. It was you who sat in a classroom for hours daily, studying hard for every exam and test. Well, for most of us, at least. It was you who did not give up when nothing seemed like it was going right. And it was you who picked yourself up and battled through the struggles. There are many actions and choices, we have made in the past 2 years, which have made our time here great. But this list of 4 things and 4 actions alone have been the hardest of all to do, day in, day out, for 2 years. You should be extremely proud of yourselves. Round of applause. I have lived here in Cals for almost 13 years. I came here when I was just 5 years old. I still remember my first day walking into Miss Fowler's K3 class with my oddly green Crocs. I decided to sit next to another boy with a thick Lebanese accent and built Lego with him for the rest of the day. I was 11,000 miles away from home. Fast forward 13 years, I stand here sharing the same stage with that same boy who became my best friend, my brother, graduating from the same school, from a place many of us now call home, with the people I now call my family. Life is a mystery, it really is. But one thing that is definite and always will be is time. Our time on earth is ticking. We are mortal, and eventually, at some point, it will come to an end. If we admit it, we really do forget about our time. We forget to savor the moments, the richness of the moments that were a promise since the day we were born, and that has and will be a gift. This gave meaning to sitting around at the campfire together, breaking into the school and inflating a bouncy castle in the middle of the flag pavilion, or throwing each other in the air at the gala. The realization that our time together was soon coming to an end brought us so much closer to each other. It made us a family, made every moment more meaningful. These memories that many of us can say made us truly happy, memories that will last us a lifetime. Our limited time on earth is what gives value to life. As all of us experience, it's okay to be upset about things, but these unhappy moments are fleeting. They'll come and go. And if you're stuck in what makes you upset, you'll forget that you already know how to push through, that you have struggled, that you have suffered. Tonight has proven that. And so, here you are, here we all are, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment, making the people we love the most proud. As many of our parents repeatedly say, yeah, time does fly, but the good news is we are the pilots. We get to choose what we do with this time. We can fly into the chaos that life throws at us. We can continue to fly our plane into uncharted spaces. My chapter here at TKS began with Legos, and now it ends right here, with our graduation caps on, with our families, taking in the moment, making our moms proud. I love you, Mama. My next chapter begins 11,017 miles away from home. Thank you to the teachers. We hope that we all made you proud and that you have felt valued during our time together. Thank you, Miss Evie, for helping me write the speech. She wouldn't let me give her recognition, but I wouldn't forget you. To the cleaners, we appreciate everything you do and did, especially your smiles in the morning. They made our day. To the people behind the scenes, the athletics department, the IT department, operations counselor, shukran. Even though we might not have known it, your contributions to our daily lives were huge and invaluable. To the office staff, thank you for everything you do for the school. You are the first faces we see every morning and the last ones we see at the end of our days. And finally, thank you to the families for standing by us and supporting us. I can't imagine the sense of happiness, pride, and relief parents are experiencing right now. Alhamdulillah, God gave me everything. All praise to Allah. Seniors, let's soar into uncharted spaces and make more great memories. And there I say it, Ma salama kaust.
Thank you, Zaid, for your comments reminding us that time on earth is limited and that the value of our lives depends on how we use that time. We will now listen to another number of grade 12 students who are going to play the song It Could Have Been Me.
your broken past. Well, I can't hear you. I don't fear you now.
Wrapped in your regret, what a waste of blood and sweat. Oh, I wanna taste love and pain. I wanna feel pride and shame. I don't wanna take my time. I don't wanna waste one line. I wanna live better days. Never look back and say it could have been me. It could have been me. Yeah.
Don't wanna wake up on a Monday morning. The thought of work's getting my skin crawling. I can't fear you. I don't hear you now.
Wrapped in your regret, what a waste of blood and sweat. Oh, I wanna taste love and pain. I wanna feel pride and shame. I don't wanna take my time. I don't wanna waste one line. I wanna live better days. Never look back and say it could have been me. It could have been me. I wanna taste love and pain. I wanna feel pride and shame. I don't wanna take my time. I don't wanna waste one line. I wanna live better days. Never look back and say it could have been me. It could have been me.
So thank you to the grade 12 band. We've heard you play at many occasions, but it's quite different to have you here on stage. And I don't know about you, I haven't often seen musicians play in cap and gown. So I think it's great, it's very groovy. So this year the students invited Mr. Rodrigo Telles, one of our teachers, to deliver the faculty address. Mr. Telles, welcome, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. David. I think this is the last one, I promise. Good evening, wassalamu alaikum. It is a great honor to be here tonight. I had this honor 10 years ago, and I feel so blessed to be able to remember and reflect on all the good things and challenging things that happened in the last decade. The truth is, everything that happens to us can and must be used for the improvement of oneself and his or her surroundings. 10 years ago, when I was invited to share a message here in this same spot, I reflected mostly on things that happened to me and how I could teach you things that I have learned in life. Even though tonight I will still try to teach you something, I think my approach has changed. 10 years ago, I spoke about myself and things that I hoped would change your life. But tonight, I would like to talk about things that you have done that definitely changed mine. You see, in life, we don't know how important the things we say and do truly are to others. A way to know that is when people around us share their understanding and perception of our actions or the lack of them. One way to live your life, and the one that I have chosen for myself, is to live guided by principles. I quote from the dictionary. Principle is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves the foundation for a belief or behavior. Principles such as those learned from our parents and family members, principles learned from religion, and principles learned from our teachers and coaches. Tonight, I want to show that you display those principles, and also that small things can be very meaningful to other people's lives. Dear graduating class of 2022, I have known most of you for many years. I have been a classroom teacher for 28 of you. I have been an advisor for 19 of you. I have been a soccer coach for 12 of you. And for a few of you, I have been your soccer coach since 2017 in the under 16 soccer team. Do you remember that? There are just a very few lucky ones of you who had me in every context. I'm so sorry you couldn't escape me, even tonight as your final act in high school. Honestly, I hope you're not tired yet of Mr. Tellis' stories. Tell us, Mr. Tellis. There's one final one, so hang tight because this will be over soon, I promise. I hope that through those many years of interactions, you have seen a teacher, a coach, a father, a man who makes mistakes, but who also apologizes for them. I hope you have seen someone who would not quiet down when difficult things had to be said. Someone who strived to be better physically, mentally, spiritually, and even musically. This is all about what I hope you had seen in me, but as I promised, tonight is about what you have shown me and how your actions have inspired me to be a better person. So pay attention to the clues, and you may even recognize yourselves in the stories. Respect. This is the first principle I would like to highlight. Respect for self and respect for others. It is important to show respect for others. And you have done that so many times while addressing me. I always felt respected, even when we had heated discussions, or when I couldn't or wouldn't agree with you and your point of view during those TOK lessons, remember? Respect should be shown to others, but also to yourselves. You have also shown me that you have respected yourselves when you gave your best at the different challenges that you faced, but also when you recognized your limits and you made difficult decisions, such as skipping a lesson or prioritizing leisure time over studying when you needed a break. Open-mindedness. I remember the numerous instances when we took a lot of time, maybe hours, to discuss and navigate ethical and controversial issues. They were important, and maybe even more important than the economic class time that we gave up. It was quite refreshing to share your journey while becoming more open-minded. Even if, in the process of trying to open that one mind, we almost had to use a crowbar. I'm sure that that red metal flask lives somewhere. This next principle is actually a couple. I got both of them from reading your TOK reflections. The first one that I learned was about empathy. And so many of you have used your inner emotions to connect and understand the world around you. And for that, I would like to thank you, all of you, who gave me the opportunity and the privilege to learn and grow with you through your TOK reflections. The second one is trustworthiness. Having people trust you is a gift, and it is priceless. I thank you all for that as well, for trusting me, and please remember to always follow through with your promises. Gratitude. Many of you have shown me gratitude in many different forms. Actually, today I received a video. You know who you are. It was really, really touching. Thank you for that. So in the form of videos, essays, thanking me for the support throughout the years, a thank you note, a thumbs up, or even a smile, all of you, I urge you, show gratitude by telling people how important they are in your lives. In the name of gratitude, let's put our hands together for some of the most important people in our lives. Thank you, parents, for the patience, guidance, and support for all those years. Thank you. So keep on showing respect, open-mindedness, empathy, trustworthiness, gratitude. Imagine many palm trees on the beach and how the canopy moves when pushed by the sea breeze or stormy winds. Consider those principles shared here tonight to be the trunks of those trees. So be firm and grounded by your principles, but flexible in your approach. And now to conclude, I would like to share my final 5 considerations for you. Number 1, find your passion. And for that, you must be open to try new things. A life without a passion can become stale really quickly. Number 2, have a goal. Super short-term, and long-term goals. They will give you a direction while you can concentrate your will and power to achieve something. Number 3, strive to be better and make sure you leave any place, anywhere you have been, better than it was before. Clean up, be grateful, help out, and share a smile. Number 4, be kind and have compassion. We never know the full picture, and for that reason, we should always allow ourselves to be mistaken while judging others. Number 5, forgive mistakes and have the courage to apologize when you make one. The apology must be meaningful and it must come from the heart. There's a simple technique that we learn from positive discipline. Hold the person's hand, look them directly in the eyes and say it. I apologize for what I have done. I won't do it again, and how can I make it up to you? I will tell you, this technique, when used with intention and heart, it will never fail, because even in the very small chance that the person would not accept your apology, you can be assured that you have taken the first step to make things better. I wish I've managed to show you tonight that you all have what it takes to succeed out there and to make a difference. Graduating class of 2022, I wish you all the best in whatever you choose to do in life. Thank you for sharing your learning journey with me. Congratulations, graduates. Alf Mabruk wa salam.
Thank you, Mr. Tellis, for your advice and your descriptions of the principles that our cohort, our students, already embody. It is now time for the awarding of the diplomas. The audience is free to take their own photos from the seats, but official graduation photos have already been made just before the ceremony and will be sent to the students within the next few days. So first row, please stand up.
Karen Rivera. Chloe Versosa. Chloe will also receive the STEM Credential Bronze. Angelico Guzman.
Sama Hamad.
Luis Turno. Ignacia Kleiner Hidalgo.
Malak Justiniya. Malak will also receive the STEM Credential Bronze. Umaira Abu Sama. Umaira will also receive the STEM Credential Silver. Salih Al-Ghamdi.
Mariana Rosado. Dikshu Kare. Louis Davidson.
Lean Thnayan. Lean will also receive the STEM Credential Bronze.
Vyoma Shah.
Afreen Banu. Hafsa Fahmi. Sumaya Ali. Sumaira Shahgul.
Abhishri Vijay Kumar. Abhishri will also receive the STEM Credential Silver. Eli Vasily.
Jawad Haraka. Zaid Masri. Zaid will also receive the STEM Credential Bronze.
Guys need to sit. Please sit. Paul Eckers.
Ahmed Milibari. Muhannad Thaqafi. Muhannad will also receive the STEM Credential Silver. Abdurrahman Al-Husainan.
Abigail Manny. Natalie Gandor. Maya Porajan.
Hala Shantir. Hamza Khasawne.
Maria Jose Penaloza Bocanegra. Lorenzo Gomes. Zenia Zavara. Zenia will also receive the STEM Credential Gold.
Hassan Al-Ghanem. باسل العمري.
Miguel Viegas. Bruno Parisi.
يوسف الهجراسي. Yusuf will also receive the STEM Credential Gold. سيف العطار.
You may sit.
سالم ببحير.
Tom Seeley. Adam Nunes.
علي الجحدلي.
Killian Bolkner. Joseph Clark. Beatrice Duarte. Mimi Tegna. Alvin Huang. Kuslin Bamba. Leon Thistle. Leon will also receive the STEM Credentials Silver. And finally, John Winfer.
Thank you. John Winfer is a student in the class who was unable to join us. His family left Saudi Arabia 3 weeks ago due to family circumstances, and we wish him well during this difficult time. So congratulations, John. Could I ask all the graduates to stand, please? By the authority vested in me, by KAUST senior managers responsible for the school, it is my privilege to present to you the KAUST school graduates of 2022. Please move your tassel from the right to the left.
The ceremony is now concluded. We thank all graduates and speakers for their contribution to this event. We would like to thank family and teachers inside the auditorium and all viewers from homes all around the world for logging in and witnessing the graduation of the students.